loves it. 49ers get the W. They walk away 19-12. Both defenses were unbelievable in the game, but the 49ers outlasted them. Let's hear what both teams had to say after this game. But let's start with the winning coach, Kyle Shanahan.
It seemed like playoff football in that game. I mean, we were going against a team and just watching them all week. We had a feeling it was going to be this type of game, and that's why we were stressing the run game on both sides and stressing to protect the ball and try to get turnovers, and we accomplished both of those things. And you do that stuff, you still got to make a number of plays. And I mean, you saw how many George made today, and it's tough to do those without the quarterback. So he made some big-time plays too.
Just disappointed, as I said. I mean, guys that played their asses off, defense who gave us an opportunity to win this game, who played hard against a really, really good offense, a really good team, and for us to only put up the points that we did, that's unacceptable. And it starts with me, and I've got to be better. I mean, that's no other way to sugarcoat it.
That's pretty cool to see the clock at 0, and then you see like the Niners over the Cowboys. That's pretty sweet in the playoffs. So. Definitely, credit to the coaching staff and getting us right all week. Defense, offense, special teams, everyone just playing. It takes everybody, not just one person or a couple guys. It literally takes everybody. So I'm just so proud of the team. And, playoff football is not easy. So to go and to pull off a win like that against a great team like Dallas and now going to the NFC Championship, it means a lot to us. And for myself, when I take a step back, it's pretty cool. Very thankful.
Hey, in my white tee, what? Yeah, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, the 49ers take down the Cowboys to punch their ticket to Philadelphia for the NFC Championship game. What stuck out to you guys in this hard-fought win for San Francisco, Peter? Such
a defensive battle, and two defenses that were first and second in the league, and they both showed up. And D'Amico Ryans is on the sidelines going wild, and Dan Quinn's going on the side. It was going to be who made the mistakes. Dak Prescott threw 2 interceptions, back-breaking one in the red zone on the Fred Warner pick. Brock Purdy threw none, and when they needed Brock Purdy to make a play, the guy who has never lost a game as an NFL starter made the play. I go late third quarter here, 1st and 10, Brock Purdy under center, waiting for this big moment, something. They're on their own 20, and Purdy rolls left, and he's looking, and he hits Kittle, who bobble catches. That drive was the breakthrough moment for the 49ers. They continued to move the ball downfield, and they ran the ball down Dallas's throat, and it was run, and it was run, and it was McCaffrey, and it was Mitchell, and they kept on pounding it to the point that the Cowboys defense began to wear down. They controlled the clock, they controlled the tempo. It took them 3 quarters to get there. Brock Purdy walked into that stadium yesterday wearing a beige raincoat and a backpack. And it wasn't like the Louis Vuitton backpack.
It was like he was on campus.
It wasn't like... It was like he was walking through the quad, and he exited the stadium wearing what looked to be like a stained white undershirt, not a James Purse or Armani, like a white T-shirt you get 3 for $10 at Marshall's. That's what he was wearing at the way out. And that's cool. That's the 49ers. That's their identity. It's Kittle, it's Juszczyk, it's Debo, it's grit, it's tough. That's what won them the game yesterday. No mistakes. 7-0 as a starter. I can't believe it. He was the last pick of the draft, and he is one of the final 4 quarterbacks in the NFL season. Brock Purdy did what he had to do, and he made the big play when they needed him.
What I love is they always show Trent Williams showing up to the game, and it's in the Ferrari. The red carpet is right there. Let's see in a few years how Brock Purdy is showing up to the game. Is it still the beige raincoat and the backpack, or does he have a nice Louis Vuitton briefcase?
Yeah.
But it's good.
Still amazed Trent can fit in that Ferrari. Right? I don't know how that big man's
I'm with you. He gets out somehow. Brock Purdy was awesome, but D'Amico Ryans and this 49ers defense, and going into this week, it was like, how are they going to stop this high-powered Cowboys offense? When you're the #1 defense in the NFL, you don't adapt or you don't change anything to stop anyone. You just keep doing what you do, and that's what the 49ers did yesterday. Peter, you talked about it, 2 interceptions, Deommodore Lenoir coming away with 1, and then ball bounces off of Jimmy Ward into Fred Warner's hands. But they also got after Dak Prescott. He was running around. He looked uncomfortable in the game. game, and they came up with big plays. The Samson Ebukam blocked extra point, and it wasn't a good kick. But when you do that early in the game, it got to the end of the half, and instead of going for a field goal, Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys offense, they decided to go for it on 4th down, which takes points away from the Cowboys and led to a field goal by the 49ers. So kind of turning of 6 points right there at the end of the half. And there was reports before the game that DeMeco Ryans canceled 2 of his interviews to focus on the game. 49ers were flying around. Fred Warner making hits all over the field. Dre Greenlaw, Hufanga coming up on blitzes. They just were unbelievable. And you knew it was going to be a game where both defenses will play well. But the 49ers were the ones that made the crucial plays that kind of turned the tide for their team to win. So unbelievable performance by them all year, and now getting their team to the conference championship game.
Yeah, credit to Kyle Shanahan and his entire staff. The 49ers came into this playoff game and played the exact way that they've been playing all year long. And I think that consistency is something to be commended for. Look, the offense is great. You touched on Purdy. It's unbelievable what he's doing offensively. This offense has been unbelievably layered for so long. What impressed me the most about this game was the speed of this defense. You were talking about it before. Yeah. They're like another version of Fast and the Furious. What episode are we on? 9 now? 10? 11? Yeah. All right, this is the next Fast and Furious movie, and specifically Fred Warner. You mentioned his name in some of those highlights and some of those plays. Look at this play that Fred Warner did down here. What is that, the 30-yard line? Fred Warner is lined up at the line of scrimmage. He's in the A-gap. He's pretending to blitz. And on the snap, he turns and runs. He's not running with a tight end. That's not Dalton Schultz. That's not Greg Olsen. That's CeeDee Lamb. All right, no linebacker in the NFL does this right here. Stride for stride with CeeDee Lamb. That doesn't happen. Fred Warner is the best coverage linebacker in the NFL, and I think you couple him with the other speed all around that defense. That was the biggest thing that I took away from this defense right now. How do you get behind them? How do you run away from Fred Warner? And then, you know, you got Nick Bosa up front, but Fred Warner, he deserves a game ball for me. We'll do that later on in the show, but I think when you look at that speed, it was fast and it was furious.
Kyle, that's 2 hats off to the 49ers defense, 1 for Brock Purdy. Where do you tip the scales here in this conversation?
Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, 2023, the year of our Lord, will give us the 10th installation of the Fast and the Furious franchise. That will be number 10. It has already this year given us the 27th straight installation of the Fast and Furious exit from the Dallas Cowboys, but we all saw that coming. Here's what I like from this game. I look at these logos now that it has left us with. Eagles, Niners, Chiefs, Bengals. That's the 4 best teams in the league. That's the 4 best teams that should be here. We all as a show and an industry have been talking for months now about who's going to be this year's Bengals, who's going to come out of nowhere with this Cinderella story. Well, it wasn't the Jaguars. It definitely wasn't the Giants. There is no Cinderella this year. I like it. I like that we have 4 badass alphas. I think the only way we were counting on Philadelphia to lose this weekend was if Jalen Hurts' shoulder acted up. And the only way we were counting on the Niners to lose this weekend is if Brock Purdy suddenly turned into a pumpkin, or maybe if Brock Purdy suddenly turned into Dak Prescott. That did not happen. It was a masterpiece from Dan Quinn's defense. He did great, and it wasn't enough because the Dallas quarterback is not very good, and the Dallas running back, who makes about $50 million a carry, had 10 carries for 26 yards. Not enough offense, same old Cowboys, nothing different. A great Niners team again, and we have 4 bad mothers in this Final Four. I like it.
You nailed it, Kyle. He got it all right. He summarized it perfectly. He talked about the 4 teams that are left. Kyle, hang around because we're going to talk about some of those teams that did not quite make it past this weekend, all right? Hang tight in Buffalo. Ian Rappaport's going to join us now, our latest from our NFL Network insider. Ian, we saw Christian McCaffrey working on his calf muscle. He still had 10 rushes for 35 yards, 22 receiving yards, but what's happening with that calf?
And it sounded like it was a little discomfort, in the words of Christian McCaffrey, for his right calf. A little bit of a strain, just kind of messing with it all game. Never looked right, clearly never felt right. After the game, talking to reporters, he said he would be all good and nothing to worry about. But I would say this is something that at least we should monitor. Calf injuries can be really tricky. They can linger, and obviously it gets no more important than just reaching the Super Bowl. Obviously, keeping track of McCaffrey and his health will be something that'll be paramount for this week. A running back who is not going to play next week, but even if his team advanced, would not have played anyway. Tony Pollard, the standout running back for the Dallas Cowboys, really emerged as one of their key weapons. suffered a fractured leg and a high ankle sprain, both together. Associated injuries, obviously you're seeing it right here, was serious, landed on it. Not a good sign for Tony Pollard. Would not be surprised if he eventually has surgery on this, facing about a 3-month recovery. And, you know, of course, he's not going to play for the rest of this season, but he is a free agent. So his timeline when he gets to full health will be right up against the start of free agency. Teams will want to know that he is good to go before signing him. People close to him are not worried at all about this, but obviously we will be keeping track of this as well. And then there's Patrick Mahomes. We know by now he has suffered a high ankle sprain, had an MRI confirmed, just the ankle sprain, which is, I would say, at least something that will likely limit him this week, probably going to be limited in practice. He described himself as good to go after the game. He does not have concerns, and the fact that Andy Reid, his coach, described it as just a tweak means maybe it is just a minor high ankle sprain for Patrick Mahomes.